This week, I did pottery, but not like making it. I started by purchasing a pottery studio that is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from where I live. After I bought that, I kind of went back and forth with my friend trying to figure out a good day that would work for both of us. And I set up the appointment, but it was like a month and some change out. So in the meantime, I found a separate deal online for a different pottery studio. This one was 10 minutes away from where I live. I really wish I would have found it first. This deal was called pottery painting. I walked into the building, I waited a little bit, and then someone came and talked to me. And I told her about the deal that I had bought. And she took me to this room that was full of unpainted ceramics. There was everything. So there were plates, there were bowls, there were mugs, there were a couple of beer steins, there were vases, there were piggy banks, there were wands that you could just paint. And I almost did. I ended up picking a small pitcher. The lady took me out and she showed me this wall of paint. She had an entire wall of all of these different colors. And then in those different colors, she had all of these shades of colors that you could use for anything. And it was glorious. And she also pointed out a couple of tiny little containers that they had that looked like puffy paint that you see on some like shirt designs and stuff. Little containers that were full of several different kinds and different shades of the colors that were options to be used to fine lines and stuff. And that was great. Once I picked my things, I was sat at a table, a list of the rules. And basically it was saying, hey, this is what you need to do while you're here. Dust off your ceramic before you start painting. Once you've finished doing that, you're gonna want no more than 3 coats of anything on your ceramic. The more coats that you have, the darker the color will come out. And then don't layer on the puff paint because it's not puff paint, it just looks like it. She also told me that they had stencils and they had reference material and a bunch of stuff like that. If I wanted it, she could show me where it was. After I did that, they told me that it was probably going to be about a week or so before I could come back and collect it. And I waited a week, and they called me. And they called me, told me that I could come pick it up. And I did, and I love it. So, this is it. See? It doesn't look as awful as I was fearing it would. And there's the little ship on the other side. Whoa. And finally, it came time for me and my friend to go to. The deal specifically said pottery glazing class. I had no idea what to expect. I assumed that somehow pottery painting and pottery glazing are different things because they sound like different things. And from what I understand, that's exactly what my friend thought as well. It took us a while to get there. It was so hard to find. Our appointment was at 2 o'clock and we were a little bit late, 5 to 7 minutes late. And when we walked into the building, I'm pretty sure there were about 20 people there. Everyone stopped everything they were doing and just stared at us. But it's understandable if you're interrupting a class. I totally get it. A lady comes up and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my name's Rebecca. I had an appointment." And she's like, "Oh, yes, give us just 10 minutes and we'll get an area set up for you." I'm like, "That sounds great." And we kind of had a look around from where we were standing. The pottery that they had there was not as good quality as it looked on the website. On the website, everything looked super professional. It looked like there was a lot of it. I was just kind of upset because when I bought the tickets to come to this class, I also bought like a coupon. Like, I think I spent between $25 and $30 on $40 worth of stuff. So I was a bit upset with myself because what I had thought was super smart of me and planning ahead was turning out to not be the case at all. They got a table cleaned up and they brought out, I would say, about 10 different mugs. And all of them were mugs. All of them had handles except for one. All of them were your stereotypical mugs except for one. And it just so happened that both me and my friend wanted that one. She let me have it. Once we picked the mugs that we wanted, we were told next that, okay, these are the 6 colors that we have. They only had 6 colors: white, black, blue, yellow, green, and a henna color that was closer to brown than red. Not even primary colors. If you're gonna bother having blue and yellow, why have green? As me and my friend were trying to decide what we were going to paint, well, can we just mix the paints? Because there's only 6 of them. What if I want a different color? Can I mix the paint? So I went over and I asked one of the ladies, I'm like, hey, can we get little dishes so that we can mix the paints? And she's like, yeah, I can get you a bunch of dishes. I don't know if you can mix the paint. Can you give me just a minute and I'll go ask? And I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. A couple minutes later, she came back and she's like, you can't mix the paint. She didn't even really bother finishing because it didn't seem super legit. So I was just like, whatever, you just don't want me to do this. Okay, fine. We had these 6 stupid colors and we had to figure out something to do with them. We painted. Get in those crevices. You know you want to laugh. It's hilarious.
Why won't it go? I feel like I have broken the glaze.
No. No, it's supposed to be speckled, right?
Yeah, but that's not a speckle. That's like dry.
Yeah, you messed up.
Dried something.
You broke it. No, it's not as bad as I was thinking. As she was finishing up painting her mug, I had a look around at everything that was on sale. I wasn't a fan of most of it. Most of it I was like, what? What is this? I did find a couple of things. I told my friend that she could look around and grab something that she wanted. And she ended up getting a cup for her partner. Then she got a box for herself. It was a little ceramic box that was like black or something. I found a couple of things that I thought could be useful. I got a couple of bowls. This one had a pretty cool design. This one had nothing on it. I found a couple of these guys, a mortar and pestle. The last thing that I got, this. It's super cute, right? It's a ladle holder. Like you set this down on the counter and then you place your ladle in it, right? Like I can't think of the word, but like it's to keep your counter clean and to have somewhere to rest your spoon, right? I turned to the lady and I was in the process of saying, oh, this is the thing that you lay your spoon on, right? And I turned to her. She's like, that's for your incense. What? And she's like, yeah, you see that hole right there? You put your stick of incense in there and it goes up, and then any ash that comes down, it catches it. It's for your incense. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was like for like a spoon, like a ladle. And she's like, oh, well, it could be used for that too. Once it's yours, once you have it at home, you can do anything you want with it. That was one of the problems I had there, is that they were super condescending. When all of the mugs were kind of laid out for us to pick from, there was one that didn't have a handle, as I stated before. Both of us wanted it, so I asked, I'm like, hey, do you guys have another one of these? And one of the ladies is like, oh, let me check. And I was more focused on her. Apparently, I didn't find this out until later, but apparently one of the other ladies had come up and was listening to the conversation. And we had said something about both wanting a cup that didn't have a handle on it. And she said specifically to my friend, they're all cups. They're all the same. They're all good. My friend's sitting there like, okay, yes, they are all cups. They are probably all good. You can't tell me that all of them are the same. They're not. That's why we asked to see if you had another one that was different. She didn't say anything, but that wasn't the end of it. They kept saying stupid, condescending stuff like that, and it was very annoying. It was also very annoying that on their page, on the thing that I bought, it said Pottery Glazing Class. And I'm sure the glazing part comes afterwards, and that's something you probably need to know more about pottery than just painting it to be able to do. The part that really gets me is the class part. There was no class. There was absolutely no class. We were not told how to do anything. We were sat down, we were told what colors were there, and then we were told the only bit of instructions that we were given were we had an hour, and on the bottom third of the mug that we are working on, do not put more than 3 layers. That was it. We weren't told how many layers of paint to do, anything. We weren't told if we were supposed to start with the brush wet or dry. So we had to guess on that too. This is a class. We paid for a class, and I was promised a class. When I had told my friend about it, we were both excited because we're like, oh, we're gonna learn something. We're gonna go and do a thing and maybe have more knowledge at the end of this. And the only extra knowledge that we had was that we never want to go back there again. And that's unfortunate because I have to go back in between a week and a half and 2 weeks to go pick up the dumb things. After the pottery class, we went and got these really delicious waffles that were shaped like fish that had chocolate in them. I cannot remember the name of it. I wish I could because they were delicious and I want more. At this place in Denver called Snow. It was pretty good. So we got that, and then we went next door and got ramen, and then we went back to Snow, and my friend got ice cream and a bunch more of those fish things for her roommate and her partner. And I wanted more. I really wanted more, but I couldn't because I was just too full at that point. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna post a bonus video this week because the thing that I had planned for the next video fell through, I believe is the best way I can put it, and I'm mad about it. So I'm gonna do a little rant video. I look forward to that. In the meantime, have a great day.